Hello and welcome to episode number 13 of the Joey Moments podcast. My name is Joey, and I have Joey Moments, and I am joined by current tequila drinker, and one of the newest additions to the lads. You joined the group chat, was that in February at the lads video premiere?
Yep, lads premiere.
That was wild. Were you expecting that?
Not at all. He said that, and I didn't even know how to react. I was just like, whoa.
Well, it's been great because you've been coming around a lot more. You come around more than some tenured lads members. You're at most functions now, which has that been like a crazy change for you to be showing up to stuff like this all the time?
Yeah, I really like it. As we all know, I had someone in my past, so I didn't come around for a while.
That's a common story for a lot of us.
And that changed a lot, and then after I kind of bettered myself, I was like, those are great people. I got to come around more.
It's a fun group of people because the Ozarks is such a unique experience, but it's such like a sampling of the lads' experience. I don't think you get a true taste of what it's like to hang out with us unless you're doing stuff pretty regularly because we have a variety of stuff that we do, and it's not just going somewhere, doing a bonfire, drinking beers. It's a lot more than that. We'll go out, we'll hang out at a different place. We'll go to someone's apartment, we'll watch a movie, we'll goof around. We'll go somewhere, we'll play darts. And it's just such an interesting group of people that, I don't know. I've known all of these people for so long. I don't really know what it's like for someone who hasn't. Like, because obviously you've known Braden and JC
since like early elementary school. I've known them my whole life.
And so then by proxy, you've known Tarek for a long time. But then
I've been around like Eric, Chris, and them for a while. I just really didn't get to know them until like probably I'd say when I first started going to the Ozarks, which was 2021, I believe.
It's been about
or 2022 maybe.
I think it was 2022.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yep, 2022. Yep, okay, yes. So, because that was my second year in the Ozarks, because I did not go the first couple years, because the first year they had it, I lived in Tampa. The second year was COVID, and I didn't go. And then the third year I went, and that was my first year, and I've been there every year since. What was that like, the first Ozarks experience? I always like hearing people's reactions to going to the Ozarks for the very first time.
I don't mean this in a bad way, but how I perceive the trip, I think Braden overhyped it a little. Nothing on him. I was just expecting a little, like, from the moment you got there till the moment you left, it was shot, shot, shot. But a decent amount of it, you're kind of doing what you want, and it's just like time to forget about the real world. You're not at work. You don't have your life problems from Omaha. You're just able to relax and hang out with your friends.
No, for sure. It's
a great time. I look forward to it every year.
There's a lull period in each day. Or not each day. I would say there's a lull period on Thursday and a little bit on Friday and Saturday. So I guess, each day has this little period in the middle of the day where if you want to drink, you can, but like half the people aren't drinking. Half the people are basically just chilling out, hanging out, talking, doing whatever, trying to figure out what they're going to eat. That's a big one, is trying to figure out, what are we doing for lunch? Are we going to Coconuts? Are we going to Lake Burger? What are we doing?
Yeah, Thursday, not everyone sleeps in the car, but most people are up at 3 a.m. to hit the road.
Yep. Most people get up really early. We start driving, and then, straight from there, it's going to be, we get there, and I know for me, it's become my little tradition that as soon as I get there, I throw my stuff in the house, and I crack open a cold one. And this year, it wasn't even a cold one. I drank a room temperature Busch Light. And I'm already not a Busch Light fan, but I was like, it's the only beer we've got. I got to drink a beer. And I had 6. And then we went and got Lake Burger, and the Lake Burger is what gets you, because my thing is, and I know there's a couple other people, you'll get drunk before you even hit lunch, because we get there about 8 a.m. and you're already drunk by 11. Lake Burger opens up. You go, all right, I'm gonna go get a burger. You get that burger, you sober up, and then it's nap time.
Yeah.
And then you get your little nap in. You sleep typically till about like 2:30, 3 o'clock, and then you get up, and you see everyone's starting to get up. Everyone's getting ready to start hanging out. The speakers are coming out for the first time, and it's just such a great experience. It's like the biggest guys trip of all time.
Everyone wishes they could have something like that.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
pretty lucky to have Braden's grandpa that allows us to go down and do that.
Oh yeah, no, it's amazing, and it's just such a unique experience, because I'll tell people about it and they're like, "That sounds fucking awesome. I can't believe you get to do that every year." And I'm just like, "I know, it's awesome. It's great." And they're like, "Only time I ever had something like that was like a youth trip. Like that reminds me of like summer camp, but like boozier." And I'm just like, "Yeah, it's exactly what it is. It feels like a 3-day summer camp, except there's no plans. The only plan is if you want to drink, drink. You want to do anything else, do anything else. It doesn't matter. Just kind of relax." And it's so much fun. I think the only thing I miss the boats, but I completely understand why we don't do it anymore. It's just with how many people we have going, it's expensive. Those boats are not cheap, and I get that. And
And you have to pay for fuel too. So
you
that
you
just
pay for the
adds
gas at the end,
way
yep.
more.
And that gas gets expensive, especially if you're like we were the last time we did it,
Yeah.
where we were just pedal to the metal, fucking just flying down the lake.
No wonder Austin's group, their gas ticket was like a quarter of ours.
Yep, yeah, they had a lot smaller gas bill, because they were just enjoying the lake. And we don't ever really go swimming in the lake. We just kind of ride the boat and let the water splash up.
Didn't some people who went swimming just got like ear infections and stuff last time?
I don't know about that. I would assume that probably is the case, just because anytime you're getting in water, it's easy to get the ear infection or get swimmer's ear. I can say, though, one of my favorite memories was, I don't know if this was the year you went or if this was the year before, but I think we did it both years, actually. We did the cliff jumping,
Yeah, I remember that.
and that was so much fun. Some of my favorite videos are from that, because Noah, he didn't land on his belly. He landed on his back.
I
He
think
did a
that
back
was
flop.
I think that was the year before I went.
Yep, and that video is so good. That was the year I had the biopsy on my head, and so that was my first year, because that was the year of my biopsy. I was not going to go up and jump, and Nathan was up there, and you could tell he was kind of not wanting to jump, and I was like, "Nathan, if you're not gonna, if I will go up there and I will jump if you jump." And holy shit, I always forget how out of shape I am until and it's I think a good measure of how in shape you are, if you can have a boat that's not close to the shore, and you can swim from the boat to the shore.
Yeah, and we weren't too close the year I went.
No, we weren't very close to the first year either, and that I think that's intentional, because you don't want to take a boat that's not yours too close to the shore,
Yeah,
because it's like the worst thing you can do is be like, "Hey guys, they're like, where's the boat?" In the lake. What do you mean it's in the lake? Of course it's in the lake. No, like it's in the lake. So you don't want to do that. I think that'd be because then that goes from just paying for the gas to paying for the boat.
And we don't have boat money around here.
No, I don't. I think we could all chip in and we'd still be paying for a couple of years. But so, and that swimming up there was hard, and then the climb, because there's no path, because it's not like a tourist spot where they have like stairs, or they have like a carved path. Like, no, you had to like climb through the rock and the kind of rugged terrain up there. Not that it was super hard. And you get up there, and he's just like, "No, we're just going back down. We're not doing it." And I think it was his sight, because he didn't have his glasses, and so he couldn't really see, and that was just freaking him out, which I understand. And so I was just like, okay, we'll climb back down. I'm glad I could be up here to walk you down.
Oh, if y'all would have slipped or anything on that way down, that would have been terrible.
No, going down, honestly, climbing back down was harder than climbing up. The easy way down was jumping, and that's what we should have done. We should have just jumped. But yeah, it was climbing back down was rough. especially because you're not wearing any shoes, you're barefoot, and there's nothing to grip onto. You're just sitting there, and your toes are just like going like, okay, these are wet rocks because you had a couple people who had been up and down who had jumped more than once, so some of those rocks are already just wet, and you're just like, oh my god, I'm gonna slip and fall down the hill, and that's gonna be even worse than if I just jumped off.
I would say if Nathan jumped, there would maybe be a decent chance those glasses broke when he hit the water from how high that
If he
is.
had them, yeah. The thing was he didn't have his glasses on. He purposely didn't bring them
Yeah.
up, and that was, I think, the thing
Oh,
for him.
I was thinking you brought him, my bad.
No, no, he didn't have them on, and that was a fun Ozark trip. Each Ozark trip has been fun. It's just I think every year is a little different. I don't think the experience is ever quite the same, which I think also makes it hard to tell people about the Ozarks. Like when we have new people that come for the first time, it's hard to describe it because everyone's experience is different. Everyone has a different view of the Ozarks because everyone does something different, right? Because Jake and Marshall and Braden spend the entire trip, and Z spend the entire trip fishing. That's what they do, especially Marshall. I don't ever see Marshall. I'll see him in the morning after he comes back up the first time, and then he's gone. I don't see him ever again.
Or he's cutting wood or doing
Yeah,
something for Opa.
he's like manly man out there living his best life, and you never see him. And then again, the other guys are out fishing, right? You have some people who just like to, they'll come out, they'll talk a little bit, they'll go get breakfast with us when we go out to get breakfast, and they'll go out to lunch, whatever. They don't go swimming, they don't do any of that. And they just, well, we're all out swimming, doing whatever wherever we're going. They're just taking a nap. They're catching up on some sleep that they haven't gotten in Omaha. And you have some people who are just like, nope, I'm getting up early. I'm gonna be up all fucking day. I'm gonna be drinking all day throughout the day, just keeping that steady buzz. And then as soon as the sun goes down, I'm going to be fucking destroyed. And then I'm going to bed at 2 a.m. And that's some people, right? And then you have some people who get there and they go, I'm not going to bed till 4:30 in the morning. And then they're asleep by fucking 10 a.m. or 10 p.m.
I think you almost got to put that clip on your website. You know what video
I
I'm
know,
talking
I will
about.
have to. I don't know. That's a really unflattering video. I look terrible in that video because I was a little heavier than I am now, by about 15 pounds. And that was a very unflattering video. That was just, that was, yeah. I think there were a lot of things that factor into that. I really did want to go all night, but yeah, we drank, we smoked, and I just had like the worst fucking migraine of my life. And I was like, dude, I gotta just lay down. I woke up about 12:30 with my headache was gone, and I was trying to listen because normally from the basement you can hear if there's still stuff going on outside, and I didn't. I didn't hear anything, and I was like, oh, everyone wrapped up early. That's cool. I'm just gonna go back to sleep then. There's no point in me getting up and sitting outside by myself. And so I went back to sleep, only to find out that there was like 6 people still up. It was just not the whole group, and there was not like the giant rave that normally goes on Friday night.
Was that the night that storm was rolling through and a few people stayed up till like 4 or 5 a.m. to watch it?
Um, I don't know. I think that was Thursday night. I'm not sure though.
Well, no, I
No, it
remember.
might have been Friday night.
Yeah, I think it
Yeah.
was Friday.
Yes, it was because Saturday. Yes, because the trash can and everything that we had bought for everything we did was soaked the next morning. Yes, that was Friday night. Yes, because I came out and everything was just soaked. Yep. Yeah, it was an interesting trip. I guess it also didn't help that we had the wedding the week before. People were already tired. Because we went really hard for that.
Yeah, there was a lot less drinking this year compared to the past 2 years I've gone.
Yeah, and I think next year maybe hopefully is a return to form. I definitely can say I don't know that I can drink quite as much as I could because I've cut back on my drinking as far as for the most part. There are still weekends here and there where I will drink, a million beers, but beer just sits in my stomach now, and I feel so uncomfortable drinking that much beer. However, if a bottle of tequila makes its way out there, I mean,
Maybe
oh,
I'll have to bring one just for you.
oh, I might. I thought about it this year, just bringing a handle of Casamigos, and I might do that next year, honestly, because that's That's like one of the best tequilas is Casamigos. And the funny thing about that is that it's a celebrity brand, and normally celebrity brands are terrible. Like the Rocks tequila,
I don't care for it.
it's fucking disgusting. I don't like it. Right? There's a couple other tequilas that are out there that are celebrity brands. I don't really care for them. And the reason that is, and the reason why they taste bad, is because they don't. The agave is not aged as long. You're supposed to do it about 7 to 8 years, and I think the Rocks is only like 2.5 to 3 years, which that's bad. But Casamigos is owned. I want to say it's owned by George Clooney,
I think you're
and
right.
and he didn't change the process at all. He let them because it was already an established tequila brand. He bought it because he liked it, and he basically has just owned the company instead of messing with the product, trying to make it cheaper to manufacture. It's still a 60 70 bottle dollar or yeah 60 $70 bottle of tequila.
That's not too bad, though.
No, for how good it is, it's one of the smoothest. The ones you got yesterday, which I don't remember the name
I
off
think
the
it's
top of my head.
Respirado.
Respirado, yeah, that one's really good. It has a lot more of a punch than Casamigos. I think Casamigos, for the price, is the smoothest tequila. But that Respirado, I took one shot of that last night and I was buzzing.
It's
Which,
good.
to get that kind of punch out of tequila, I mean, for some people that is just what tequila does. But for me, normally that's not how it is. Normally I need to do like 2 or 3 and then I feel it. But I'm also a bigger guy. And yeah, it's just, God, I had that bottle on my desk for a minute yesterday and I was like, I was playing games last night after you left and I was like, dude, do I just take shots? And I was like, no. And then that bottle was sitting there like the fucking Green Goblin mask, just fucking coward. And I'm just like, no, I'll save that for the holiday. I'll save that for Monday. But no, back to you coming into the group because I had I think met you at some point when we were in high school, but it was like a passing by. I was probably at Tarek's basement or his garage, and you were probably hanging out with Braden. And it had been like a passing by because I know that was the same thing for a couple of our other friends. JC, very similar. Obviously, I knew his brother.
Weren't you in ROTC with them?
I was also in ROTC with him. I don't remember him from ROTC though. I just that's not a thing that I remember. There were so many people in ROTC, and I say so many. There were like 96 people in ROTC. That was that was it. But 96 people still, that's 100 people that I didn't know everyone. I really didn't. And everyone kind of knew me because I had worked my way through that whole thing and I took that semi seriously because in high school I kind of wanted to be in the military. Um, and everyone knew me and I did not care to know any of those people. I was like, I don't care. It'd be like people who were like a freshman and I was like a junior. I'm just like, I don't want to talk to you. You're not a person in my eyes right now. You're just like, you're basically an 8th grader. And I know how stupid middle schoolers are, even as a junior in high school. Like that difference, in my opinion, is huge. Like the difference between people, an incoming freshman and a junior in high school. Like they just like when juniors and freshmen date, I'm just like,
That's sick.
like what are you doing? It's even worse when seniors and freshmen date. I'm just sitting there like going like, what the fuck are you doing? Like I know what you're doing, and I think you're vile. I think you're gross. It's just like an adult, like someone in their like late 20s, trying to date like an 18-year-old. I'm just like, what are you doing, dude? Like that's like an 18-year-old. Like that person is closer to going to prom still than they are to being a functioning adult in society. Like, yeah, they're 18, but it's like, yeah, they're still basically a child. Like, let them have a couple. Like, on my dating apps, my profiles, my search preferences are 21 and up. I do 21 to 28. That's it. I will not talk to anyone below 21. There's no point. If you can't buy yourself alcohol, I'm not going to date you. That's weird. I can't take you to bars with my friends.
What's the point?
What's the point? Yeah, no, and it's a little weird to me.
It's like one thing if you'd be like 50 and 60, but if you're 18 and 28, that's a totally different thing.
No, and that's the thing. The age difference becomes, in my opinion, less important as time goes on. It's just like when you're dating someone who's right out of high school, That's the thing that kind of like it kind of grosses me out. Like when you're in college, it's a little bit more acceptable, I guess. But like still, a senior in college is 21 to 22. Why are you dating an 18-year-old still? That's still a weird gap. Like that 4 years, the difference in life experience in those 4 years, that's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem. The person who's 18, their life experience is still high school. By the time you're 21, your life experience is the real world. Even college is still a better taste of the real world and being an actual functioning adult, handling your emotions, not like a child. And it's a little weird. And it
Fr-
and not that we have anyone who's like that, but it's just I see it all the time. I have people who I know outside of the lads who, they're I'll see them on Facebook and they'll be like they're like 32 and they're like dating a 19-year-old and I'm just like that's fucking weird. Like that's really weird. The difference in life experience at that age is fucking disgusting.
I was on Facebook last night and I was just looking through like recommended friends, and there was a girl I noticed. I think I went to high school with her. I think she was in my grade. But her profile picture was with this man who was probably 35 or 40. And I looked through her profile and I was like, I don't see anything about dating. I just see that profile picture. Like, is she dating that man?
It could be your dad. And that's like the thing, right? Like I see that all like I do have a friend who I knew as a kid and who lives in New Mexico. I have someone who I was friends with there, and they are my age because they're I went to school with them, and they are married to a 50. He's in his late 50s now, and they started dating like when she was like right out of high school, and I'm just like, okay, so, a get your bag because she goes on like trips now, like she was like 18 going to like a 2 week fucking vacation in like Italy, and I'm just like, you know what, I see what you're doing, I can respect what you're doing, the hustle, but like what that man's doing is fucking gross.
That's a cradle robber right there, dude.
That's yeah, it's just and so um but I think we got a little off topic. Going back to the lads and meeting the lads and hanging out with the lads. Um, Obviously, again, like I said, you've been coming around more. Is there like a piece of lads history that you've always just like any questions, anything like you've just been like, what's like a lad story that like you've heard but you've never had the details on? Obviously, that we can talk about on the story because I think there might be some lad stories that are not podcast appropriate. If there are any, if there's not, it's fine. I just that was like something I was thinking about today when you were on your way over was if there was stuff that maybe you had not heard
Uh,
everything about.
I'm going to say this just because I've gotten a PC relatively recently and I'm getting to know that side of you guys more.
Hmm.
What was the whole thing with the Minecraft server when y'all had the court case or whatever that
Oh my
was?
God. Okay, so the Minecraft court case. So I am gonna have to pull up my memory banks on that one because I don't remember. I think it was Abel and Nathan. I think. And I think the thing that happened was Nathan had built a house. Nathan and Dylan, and probably like Danny and Tyler had built like a big giant house, and they told Abel, "Do not build on our land." And Abel did. He infringed on their property rights in a Minecraft server, and the thing with that is that they were like, there needs to be some kind of punishment for this, and so we had a whole court case. We had a judge, we had a jury. Um, Henry and Jake were the lawyers, and we all, in spirit of going to court, we all put on suits and turned on our webcams, and that was something stupid like that happens basically every time we play Minecraft. Whether it's like doing something like that where we all get up into suits and we sit in our cameras and whatever, or if it's just something in the game where we are just absolute hooligans. And the fun part is when we do the modded stuff because then you can have like me. Abel built a house, and the entire time we were playing modded Minecraft, I knew where his house was, and I spent the entire time just learning how to make nuclear missiles and just getting the materials to build my missile silo and to build my nuclear missile, and to the point where right before we wrapped up, I had my missile and it was in the silo and I was ready. And I just never did it. I never pulled the trigger and blew his house away because I think there were other people who lived right next to him who I would have absolutely decimated their shit. And I was like, I don't know if I want to be the bad guy on this server, but Abel, you do me wrong. The house is gone.
I feel like if he got his punishment from the court case, that
He
would have been.
did. His punishment for the court case was that he had to dig out an entire chunk to bedrock.
Oh, I remember that.
And
Yeah.
that took forever. And he did it right in front of my fucking house. So, because I lived in, like, there was like a little hole in the ground. It wasn't, it was like almost like not like a hill or a mountain, but it was like a little valley. Very small, very shallow. And at the bottom of that, I had my little entranceway into it. And yeah, he dug the fucking pit out right in front of my doorstep. I had to build out a balcony because there was one block in front of my door. If I sprinted more than one block, I was going down to bedrock and dying. And that happened on more than one occasion.
Do you know
So
how long that took him to do?
he did it for a couple days. I think he did it maybe like 3 or 4 days of playing. You know, he it was pretty quick. I think he was on leave at that time, and so I think he was able uh, to play more. If I remember correctly, that was a long time ago because we were still in the apartments at that point. So that was before we had moved in here at the house. Which that apartment, I love that apartment, but there's so many fragmented memories from that time because that was me at my like peak of alcohol drinking, which I've cut back on so significantly since then. It's hard for me to think about how much I used to drink. Like I'll see pictures and videos of that, and I'm like, oh my god, like those Jose Cuervo bottles just disappearing. I'm just like, Jesus fucking Christ, I was a monster.
I had a problem at one point with alcohol too, so
It's such a
yeah.
slippery slope. Like it's so easy to enjoy alcohol and to just casually drink it and to have like a beer here or there, or to be like, I had a bad day, I'm gonna have like a shot of tequila to wind me down, or like I'm gonna drink a couple glasses of wine. But it's such a slippery slope to go, I had a bad day, I'm gonna drink the whole bottle. I want to be drunk, I don't want to feel anything, I just want to escape. And that slope, I think people really do kind of underestimate how quickly you can get into that hole.
Oh, totally.
And once you get in that hole, for me, it was hard to get out. It took me, in all reality, it probably took me 6 to 8 months to stop drinking like that. I had to like admit to myself that there was, a problem. It wasn't like, go to AA bad for me, but it was one of those things that like if it had gone any longer and I couldn't have gotten myself out, it probably would have been to that point. And now I have a healthier relationship with alcohol. I've really stopped drinking like that. I don't drink to get drunk now, which before that was all it was. It was drinking to get drunk. If there was no getting drunk involved, why am I drinking? And I don't know that I've ever really admitted that, but it's really easy to get to that hole. And, and luckily, I don't think any of our friends struggle with that. And if they do, there's help, and
Absolutely.
and I think anybody who listens, even if you're not a part of a friend group, because I do know that we have some people who listen outside of the group. Alcohol addiction is a very serious problem. Like we drink on the podcast very casually, but for the most part, once the podcast is done, I stop drinking for the day.
Yeah, I'm
There are
gonna be
very few.
done.
There are very few times. I think there was one we recorded on a Saturday, and we had something later on that day.
Was that the
And
Memorial Day celebration?
no, Memorial Day was pre-podcast. The podcast I had not started yet. I had recorded the first episode. We left for the Ozarks on Wednesday. I recorded it on Monday with Tarek. So that was how that started. And we only drank one beer that night. But it was definitely, there's help available. And, the other thing is, it's good to have people who will support you through that. And, that's the one thing I love about our friend groups. Like, even though our friend group, anytime we hang out, we always joke about, we're going to drink a million beers. Where's a cold one? I want to do a cold one with the boys. I want to sit there and drink with everybody. If someone had a problem and was like, hey guys, I want to stop drinking, our friends would support them through that. They would cut back. I don't know that they would cut back a whole lot, but they would be supportive. and they would be like, okay, if you come out, we're not going to offer you drinks. We'll make sure that, we can do what we can to make sure you're staying strong with that. And I think the biggest example of that is our friends who quit nicotine. And because all of our friends, will be like, pass a cheech, let me take a smack of your vape. Let me hit your vape. And once people say I'm quitting, they stop offering it to that person, or someone will be like, can I hit your vape? No, you said you're quitting. I'm gonna,
We
but
hold our friends accountable.
we do. And that's like, that's why it's so unique to have a friend group like this, where it is very much, in my opinion, closer to having family than it is to having friends. And it really is a family. And I love it. I love every single person in, unique ways, and everyone has such a special place in my heart. It's so great. And that's why I think I love the Ozarks so much, because it's like one of the very few times where we get everyone together for a couple days. It's not like hey, we're going to be here for a couple hours together. We're together for, you know, 3 days, and it's great. But it is a shorter episode this week. We are going to wrap up. But before we do, I did want to talk. We drank the pre-mix Jack Daniels and Coca-Cola. What were your opinions on it? I did not drink a whole lot on the podcast because I was saving this for my morning because I have a lot of stuff to do. So I was going to drink this throughout the morning. But
Me and you talked about this a little bit last night. It is pretty good. I think I could have a few too many of these easily.
mm-hmm.
But if I think I was to add just a shot to each one, that'd get me to a comfortable level a lot quicker.
Yeah, I think you can definitely barely taste the Jack Daniels in it. Like, it tastes like a watered down Coke with a hint of Jack. And I like that flavor. But yeah, if I were drinking these like at a party, I would want to I don't even know if you need a full shot. I think maybe even just a half shot of Jack Daniels, I think would put this at a perfect spot. Because I like my Jack and Cokes a little heavier anyway.
These are a little stronger. I think they're 7 or 8%.
Yep, so it's stronger than drinking a beer, but it's about the level of an IPA, which is really good. The flavor is solid, though, because I think Jack is probably like the best mixing whiskey. It's just because it's a little sweet.
Yeah.
I think it's very good to mix with Coke. It's just the perfect pair. It's that. And, I would say Captain and Coke, but if I ever drink a Captain and Coke again, I will immediately hurl.
I can't do rum.
No, I can. I can do rum now. I can do certain rums. But Captain Morgan has never gotten to the point where I can drink that again. I drank too much of that at 21, 2021 when I started drinking. And yeah, never again, man. Rum and Cokes are just off my list of things that are acceptable to drink.
I couldn't do rum, and then I think it was JC had me do a night of just drinking Kraken, if anyone's had that.
Oh, I love Kraken, but
That's the only time I've ever woke up in the morning and threw up from a hangover. It was terrible.
that's the worst. I don't know if you can agree with that, but like I can throw up at night. I've had that happen like 2 or 3 times where I've thrown up at night after being drunk.
But it makes you feel better.
You feel better. But then if you throw up in the morning, I've only had it happen once where I've thrown up in the morning.
Same.
That experience is 100 times worse. You don't get to feel better. You just feel terrible. Like, I'm just like, I would rather throw up for hours at night after I'm done drinking than throw up even for 5 minutes the morning after.
100%.
But yeah, so I appreciate you coming on. It was great. You're one of my most avid listeners. You always text me every week, and so I appreciate the love and support. It's good to have you on, and we'll have you on at some point again. I think I know I've talked briefly, here and there about season 2 being multi-person, but definitely I think we're gonna have at some point probably like you and Braden, and we'll dig deep into the vault of the Bardlow lore.
Yeah, I was definitely nervous about today, but this was easy. I'll gladly do it again.
Yeah, people, you don't know how many people say it. There's like, I don't know what I'm going to talk about. I'm nervous to be in front of the camera, and then you start talking, and then it's just you forget the camera's even there.
Yeah, the conversation's just been coming natural.
Yep. And so, again, like I said, I appreciate you coming on, and thanks to everyone who tunes in weekly. I appreciate it greatly. We'll be back next week for a very special, very themed episode of the podcast, and I can't wait to share that with you. I'm super excited, and we will see you guys next Monday Thanks for watching.